Aryan Khan and the others in the drugs case will remain behind bars for at least another 24 hours. The arguments in the case will continue tomorrow. They did come up. The bail hearings did come up before the judge. Quite a few individuals' cases did in fact get heard. However, the arguments themselves are not over and they will resume tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. The Additional Solicitor General will be replying on behalf of the Narcotics Control Bureau and has said that he will take an hour to conclude the arguments. Earlier, one of the advocates in the case, Mr. Desai, had argued that the court was misled into believing during the first remand that it is a conspiracy case. He said that the arrested people must be informed of the grounds of their arrest and that this had not taken place. Aryan Khan has been in jail since the 8th of October. That makes it, 22 days. He was arrested after a drug raid on a cruise ship party on the 2nd of October by the Narcotics Control Bureau. So what exactly did Aryan Khan's lawyer say in court? Now, he's got a battery of lawyers, some of the most senior in the country. They've said he is a victim in this case. He was a special guest. No drugs were recovered from him. There is no case of conscious possession or drug consumption. The approach must not be to put people in jail. These are young boys. They can be sent to rehab, need not undergo trial. One accused was not on the cruise at all, and that phone chats recovered are not from 2019, are from 2019 and are not linked to the current scenario. So two in the Aryan cruise ship case, meanwhile, did get bail yesterday. Manish Rajgharia and Arvind Sahu have got bail in this case, and interestingly over here, one of them had been charged with consumption, one of them had been charged with possession. However, in the case of Aryan Khan, there was no proof of drugs in his bloodstream. He was neither in possession of drugs either. So therefore, in contrast to Aryan and Rajgharia, who've been accused of possession, Sahu of consumption, they have gotten bail. That took place yesterday. Aryan Khan, who was not accused of possession or consumption, is now in jail for 3 weeks plus.
See, the arguments of all the three accused number 1, 2 and 3 are concluded already today, and the AFG is yet to argue, which is kept for further arguments tomorrow at same time after 3 p.m.
Saurabh Gupta joins us now for more on this. So Saurabh, yet another day for all of these young people behind bars. Is there an expectation that there could be an order tomorrow itself, or are there lengthy proceedings expected? Because the Additional Solicitor General has said that he needs an hour at least to conclude his arguments.
That's right. In fact, one can certainly expect the entire arguments in this bail application hearing to be concluded tomorrow, and that means that it is up to the judge, the High Court judge, to decide on when he will pass the order. But it is likely that when a High Court passes an order, it is a very detailed and studied order, because High Court judgments are law by themselves. So obviously, this is something that the High Court will decide upon, deliberate upon and pass. So it is likely, it is of course the discretionary powers of the court, but it is likely that the court may take some time to pass a judgment. But one of the most important arguments that have been raised by no less than the former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, who argued on behalf of Aryan Khan today, is a very, very important argument in this case. And what he says is that there is a constitutional infirmity in the arrest, which means that the arrest basically is unconstitutional, and to remedy that, they have added sections in the remand. So joining me now are lawyers from the defense team. Ali Kashif Khan Deshmukh also argued today, but I'd like to ask both of you this constitutional infirmity. Basically what the former Attorney General argued is that this is an unconstitutional arrest and it was tried to be remedied with the remand.
See, when the fundamental rights of any person, any citizen of India is breached, then definitely it's constitutional. They are not following the constitutional formalities and constitutional remedies available, and it's an open breach of law as well as the freedom and rights given to the citizens of India.
And if I can ask you one more question, when he says constitutional infirmity, he specifically mentioned there is no memo for the seizure of a mobile phone, but the prosecution is depending on WhatsApp chats that have been seized from that mobile phone. That's a very important point to make. You have not given a memo, and this is something that's raised by no less again than the former Attorney General.
So the fundamental rule of criminal jurisprudence is, even if you voluntarily hand over your phone or any personal belonging, there has to have a panchnama to that effect. And regarding constitutional infirmity, which the learned Attorney General, ex-Attorney General pointed out, is that the Aryan's grounds of arrest were some MD, ecstasy, cocaine. So the memo of arrest, which contains the name of Aryan Khan, mentions all those which are recovered. Till date, NCB has not made out any ground which says that from whom this all individual recoveries have been done.
And no recoveries were made from him, that's been admitted.
So the learned Attorney General, ex-Attorney General, said that there's a constitutional infirmity because there is no reasonable grounds of arrest which have been communicated to them.
Exactly, and that's perhaps the most important point raised by the former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, that this is an unconstitutional arrest, basically constitutional infirmity, which has been tried to be remedied with a remand, and which is, of course, again, unconstitutional.
Right.
Specifically referring to Article 22 of the Constitution.